G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we're on Dry Arabia to watch Corvinus 1 fight up against Till Lindemann. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. It is a pleasure to have your company here today. Let's get to it. So, spawning in the west of the map, playing as the Ottomans in the colour yellow, we've got Till Lindemann. I think it might be the first time we've got Till on the channel, but I tell you what, we're not going to have to be waiting till late game to see some action. I'm confident Till is going to be giving it to us. Now, Till currently ranked about Conqueror 3, so quite a high rank, but we can see already a little bit of a mistake coming out. Little sheep over here. I wonder what happened there that this sheep got included, but he's now going to be making the trek back. It's going to be a long walk as well. Let's check in over on the other side of the map in the colour green, playing as Joan of Arc. It's Corvinus 1. You'll need no introduction for him, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Corvinus 1, a prolific wallalola, and obviously just an all-round good guy. So, looking forward to seeing what the what sort of opportunities he looks for today playing as Joan of Arc, and of course hoping that we see a bit of siege. I've been hunting for the siege game recently, and I don't know what it is. You know, I was as I mentioned before, I was kind of talking to Don Ardi, and he said that look, he doesn't really use siege. It doesn't use siege anymore. Mangonel's not strong in the castle age. Most games typically ending in the castle age mean that you don't have the opportunity for that upgrade, the adjustable crossbars, and because of that, you don't really see the Mangonel coming out, and because of that, I mean, people just kind of forget about the Springlords, but you've got to remember that they've undergone quite a bit of a change. They now only cost 2 population compared to the 3 population that they used to cost, and they're 150 wood and 100 gold compared. Oh my god, look at this! Till is leading the charge right now when it comes to the sheep, and I'm sure Corvinus 1 would have seen that, and of course would have rolled his eyes and said, oh my lord, he's going to try and steal some of the sheep away from Corvinus 1. This minigame in the early game is always good fun, trying to determine where your enemy has been and where they're going to go so that you can get into position to deny their sheep from them. But sometimes the RNG gods, the RN gods, RNGesus, is not always in your favor. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this game unfolds, and kind of curious to see how Corvinus 1 looks to play this, as it's going to be a Chamber of Commerce play. G'day, mate. How you doing? It's been a while since we've seen it. Now, remember with the Chamber of Commerce that it trains one trader for each economic tech that you've researched. So if we were to think about, you know, how do we get the most from this, it would be to start off with 1 TC, keep a lot of vills on gold, and just look to get all of your eco upgrades. So look to get your forestry, your wheelbarrow, horticulture, specialized pick, double broad axe, all that good stuff. You can even go to the extent of getting things like survival techniques if you're going to be going out on a hunt, which definitely makes sense. Pushing it to professional scouts is a bit silly just to get a free trader. But yeah, I mean, that's realistically it. When it comes to the trade post, obviously, Corvinus 1 can see his trade post because he's playing Joan of Arc. So this is a very simple position. All he needs to do is just send 1 villager down to the corner to go build that market. Ideally, you want to be building it right as you finish aging up. But we can already see that it's going to be aggression coming out from Till. In his base, he's gone for the military school. We see the Twin Minaret Madrasa coming down as well. So Till going to be opening up with some aggression. And look at the spear as it tries to get through and hit these vills on the back. Does cop a little bit of damage. Now, this is a pretty smart move here from Corvinus 1. Often we talk about in this matchup how the Ottomans are favored because the French, and Joan of Arc in particular, love to open up with that school of cavalry, and they love to get that royal knight out to harass. So naturally, the counter to cavalry like the knight is going to be the spearman, and that just comes out by default for Till over here on the Ottomans because he's got the military school, and obviously you're motivated to get those military schools out, especially in this matchup. So naturally, you can see it makes a lot of sense for Joan of Arc to be going into the Chamber of Commerce here, and it's just going to be a slow age up here. Not too fussed about whether we age up super duper fast or not, because it's more just about collecting those resources in the transition period. And we can see wheelbarrow not quite through yet for Corvinus 1. Spearman does go down. Second spearman going to be coming on the way. You ideally want to be careful losing these spears, just because they will complement your mass, and you are going to need, or you want to have a big mass of spears in the event that cavalry do come out. But have a look at this. We might actually, yeah, that's going to be a dead vill for sure. There's no way that vill gets away on 1 HP. Indeed it doesn't. Spearman almost going down though, but I tell you what, that is a very good trade. If you can get 1 vill with 2 of your early game spears, that is an incredible trade right there. Looks like it might be a second one as well. Never mind. Joan of Arc comes through, manages to survive on just 1 HP. So this Ville needs to come back in under the TC, which it does. Really nice call here by Corvinus 1. And now we start to see those upgrades. So we see upgrades coming through. We don't see any upgrades coming through just yet. Looks like we're just going to be keeping a pretty short trade distance. Keep in mind that with the Chamber of Commerce here, you're kind of like roughly in the middle of the map. Whereas like the market in the corner is going to put you to the edge. And so that's going to mean that instead of getting 22 gold per run, you're probably going to be looking a little bit close to, say, 70 gold per run, somewhere in that region. But on the other side of the map, we've got the age up coming through as well. It's going to be the Twin Minaret Madrasa. Plenty of sheep underneath the town center. And it looks like there might be a play at Castle Age here with 2 vills, now 4 vills on the outpost. Just wants to make sure this outpost does not, or rather that this outpost does not suffer at the hands of Joan of Arc as she begins to make her way across the map. The woman at arms, of course, chasing down the spearmen. Very effective counter. And undoubtedly, you can suspect that Till is going to be looking to get a little bit of range units to try and deal with her. Probably some crossbows once he hits the castle edge because he is definitely en route. Now, when it comes to his first vizier point, he's got a number of options. Does he go into Anatolian Hills for a couple of extra sheep and that mining bonus, which is very, very nice? I would be going into the imams, though. In this position here, it just makes sense to go into the imams. And then from there, you can follow up with things like military campus, which is quite nice. And we see the blacksmith coming down already. Great little position that Till's managed to put down, leaving space here as well for the MIA, the landmark. If he so chooses to go into the MIA, of course, you don't have to, especially with the recent changes to the vizier system. There is a lot more... Let's just put it this way. There's a lot better options for you, so naturally to go into more vizier points is a good thing. But Corvinus one now with the market in the back of the base. We can see those traders. He's bringing in food at the moment on these traders. There we go, 72 food coming through. This is a great utilization of that French bonus. So you choosing which resource he wants to bring back. Obviously can't bring back stone because that would be kind of broken. But food is a great resource to be bringing back because when it comes to your food, it's finite. You don't really have a lot of it. Compared to your gold, it's infinite in the sense that you've got 4k gold in the base. That's a lot of gold, right? Like, it's not 1,000 gold, it's not 2,000 gold, it's 4,000 gold. So you don't really, as long as you've got this secure, not to mention you've got another one right here, but as long as you've got this secure, you don't really have to leave the base. So you're going to be very safe. Compared to food, where already we've almost run out of sheep, we've only got berries and we've got some deer at the back. That's pretty much it. I mean, we've got some really good spawns down here. We've got back boar, back deer, second back deer, by the way. Third berries is towards the front. Actually, no, that's the second berries. Where's the third berries? There's the third berries up towards the north. Yeah, realistically, this is a pretty good spawn here for Corvinus 1 with regard to the food. But it's still nice to get these out early, get yourself a little bit of flexibility. Very good trade coming in. Now, we do see the scout's going to spot this out. So Till's going to have a decent idea about how his opponent is gathering resources. And we see the first of the Sipahis coming out. Will this be spotted by Corvinus 1? Now, it may have already been spotted. You can see he's on the way back. A knight is in queue at the stable. So he should be able to defend any sort of aggression here eventually. The Sipahi will obviously lose to the knight, but it is quite a bit faster than the knight. So as long as we're able to get here on time, and it looks like he's going to be able to drop off the food, and then he will probably go down this trader, unfortunately, but at least he got the one drop off, and, you know, it feels good when that's the case. You know, you manage to get the one drop off in and die in the end, you know, much better than dying right before the drop off. But once the knight comes out, should be able to defend this position a little bit better. However, I suspect there might be trouble in paradise as spearmen will be making their way across. The new age begins, and our Ottoman player is now in the castle age, looking to chase away that Sipahi. Corvinus 1 does, and Relic's going to get picked up. There's the first one, second one up towards the north side. I'm loving it so far from Till. Or so far from Till? So far from... Everything that we've seen from Till so far is really good. Now, the question is, where does he go from here? You've got two options that you can play. First one is that you spend a little bit more time in Castle Age, and we often see players do this, where they go very heavy in Castle Age. I'm more of a fan of Fast Imperial. I love the Fast Imperial. To be fair, I haven't tried the Fast Imperial since the changes to Siege, but I can imagine that it's only gotten better with the changes to Siege, just because of how good the Great Bombard is. The Great Bombard is obviously the king of Siege. So will we see that from Till today, or are we... Oh, have a look at this. Instead of going into the Mangonel, he's going into Springwoods. Jeez, look, is it just me, or did that produce really quickly? Maybe... It took about a minute, about 70 seconds. Is that what I'm seeing? So can he produce those at twice the rate of a mango? I think he might be, actually, because a mango is just over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's have a look at the Springwood, how long it takes. Oh, it's 57 seconds. That is quick, dude. That is quick. Okay. All right. I can get behind this. I can get behind a little bit of a sprinkled spam. I'm kind of glad that we're getting to see this right now. Till, show me what you got. Show me what you're working with, brother. This is good. This is good. All right, well, walls coming up now for Corvinus 1. I will say from the side of Till, it feels like maybe a little bit more pressure could have been put out earlier on. So what do I mean by that? Like maybe putting down the stable down a bit sooner, like especially seeing that your opponent is going trade. Obviously, we want to try and get to Castle Age, but I think a big component of dealing with anyone who's trading is keeping them down. You don't want to just let them get away with trade for free, because trade has a very quick return on investment compared to a second TC, which takes a lot longer. So if you spot that an enemy's doing a second TC, that's fine. You can leave them. You can deal with it later. But you see trade, you want to try and hamper that as much as you possibly can early on. But we now start to see some walls coming down over on the southwest side of the map here for Till. Royal Institute on the side of Corvinus 1, looking to hit that Castle Age, and maybe looking to spend a little bit longer in the Castle Age with the Royal Institute. Of course, the Royal Institute doesn't give you a whole lot of value unless you're actually planning on spending a long time in the Castle Age. If you're thinking, okay, I'm just going to quickly go up to Imperial Age here, probably makes a bit more sense to go for the Guild Hall, and we've seen it fall out of favor recently because of the prevalence of big 2TC builds that end up getting up to Imperial, but Royal Institute going to make a lot of sense here as well for Corvinus 1 with this decent-sized economy at the moment. How many traders has he got? He's got 9 traders, so feeling very good about himself. He's also got a fair few eco upgrades. Do we see... Oh, we only see horticulture coming through now. Kind of interesting for him to delay horticulture with it being so cheap. Fertilization now going to come through as well, and he did move into professional scouts. You know, we talked about this and the prospect of spending all those resources to get it, and he's managed... Springles. 1 HP on that scout, by the way. So, yeah, he's managed to gather up quite a bit of the hunt from outside the enemy base. It's quite far away, but obviously has been chased away by the Sipahi. Relic's getting cleaned up. That's going to be the second relic coming through. Third relic and fourth relic in the base, by the way. So that means the 5th relic is the one that's down here. And look, let's be honest, it's behind enemy walls. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to get this one unless you somehow manage a miracle. But I suspect that's not going to be happening. Now we check in with Corvinus 1 and take a look at this. Veterancy coming through on the Royal Knights and Royal Bloodlines. Fill the stable with the best stallions, increasing all cavalry health by 40%. I can't believe this is a legal upgrade. That is ridiculous. 40% health upgrade. So you go from 230 because you've got veterancy. Let's have a look and see how much that's going to be, because that's 40%. I don't think that's off the 230 amount. I think that's off the base amount. And I think that the Knights got feudal age, so 230, 40% of that would be... Gosh, I'm just trying to math it out, a little bit over 100 health, I think? Maybe a little bit less. Somewhere in that region, though, of about 100 HP. Let's have a look and see how much it is, though. I could probably do the math for you. What would it be? 2.3 times 40. So, yeah, just under 100. Yeah, okay, it is. It's off the full amount, so they do base it on the Castle Age health. That's insane, dude. 90 plus 92. Now you got to deal with that in the Castle Age. That's kind of scary. But you know what Till says? Till says, nah, I don't actually have to deal with that in the Castle Age. I'm just going to chill. Now, he's got a couple of Janissaries out. Where did he get these gens from? I don't think you get them from the military school. In fact, he's only got into 1 military school. Till, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like that's a little bit of a mistake on your part. I think going for an extra couple of military schools makes a lot of sense. And the best time to do that is probably right as you hit the feudal age. So basically you hit feudal age, you drop your blacksmith, drop a military school, you get ready to drop that 3rd one as well, and you can even gather the resources up for a 4th one if you want to do that. It's obviously going to delay you quite a bit, but I think going into the 2 military schools just to start with, and then once you hit the Castle Age, like gathering up that additional stone can really help you out, and it can bolster your army quite a bit, because look at the amount of Springles he's got, dude. This is ridiculous. He's got 5 Springles that he's just got for free over the last, over the last 4 or 5 minutes. That's kind of crazy when you think about just how quickly these are coming out, because we still look at these and we still think, well, I don't know about you guys, but I look at these and I still think to myself, okay, this is just, it's a normal Springles, but you got to remember, these are completely different units. So one of the things I would love to see is there's a big emphasis at the moment on him moving into Sipahi. I would love to just see spears together with Janissaries. I think they work incredibly well together. He's got 13 Janissaries out right now. Where are they? Oh, they're down here to the south. He must have gone into Janissary Company. There's no way has he just trained 13 Janissaries? He's got the double archery range and they train quite quickly. Perhaps he has, but this is just a consequence of not being able to see the Vizier points despite having the Ottomans in the game now for more than 2 years, despite having spectator mode in the game for longer than that. You know, it's disappointing that we don't get to see the Vizier points, because it's an integral part of gameplay for the Ottomans. So, look, not much I can do. Just keep in mind, obviously, if I'm the biggest creator, and, well, I'm actually not the biggest creator. Beastie's the biggest creator in Age of Empires 4 now. But as one of the big creators in Age of Empires 4, if I'm not able to pull any weight and pull any strings, you can imagine there's really not much that can be done about it, unfortunately. Istanbul Observatory gonna be coming down on the backside of the base here for Till, and I'm loving this opening so far from him. So the Istanbul Observatory is going to give that influence increase not only on your Istanbul Observatory, but also on your existing blacksmiths. So it means that things like the MIA are going to start producing faster, and it means that if he wants to, Till can switch into Great Bombards. He can also look to move into a Siege Workshop as well. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be moving into a Siege Workshop and looking to get a couple more Bombards out, or at least get a couple of Bombard upgrades. But have a look at this College of Artillery. What a smart move by Corvinus 1. Going into the College of Artillery. Are we having a Siege off? Did I manage to somehow find the one game where Siege gets made? I think this might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an exciting time to be a Siege enjoyer. So, Springlords, remember that they don't have that conventional role of being an anti-siege unit anymore. They don't counter siege. They don't get any bonus damage against siege. They do a measly 15 damage against enemy siege. But the age up does come through. Till now going to be reaching the Imperial Age. He's got a couple of tech options open to him. Number one is going to be Chemistry, which increases all gunpowder siege weapons. Now, it's important to note that that's gunpowder siege weapons. So you have gunpowder infantry, that doesn't increase the damage of the Janissary. However, Janissary now have Janissary guns, which increases damage by 5 compared to by 3, which is what it used to be, if I remember correctly. So that got a little bit of a buff, and I think that's also affected by elite Janissaries. It's a small little, you know, bonus, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Then we've got Siege Works. So new carpentry techniques increase the health of siege units by 20%. No additional armor here anymore, but, you know, still an extra 20% can make the difference. And now the age up comes through over on the other side, and it's going to be Royal Cannons that Corvinus 1 is moving into. So it is the most powerful siege cannon, excellent against buildings or any stubborn targets, and bonus damage to buildings. So we'll be looking to see the Royal Cannon and how it fares compared to the normal siege or the normal cannon. Now, keep in mind that the College of Artillery, so it can produce cannons, Revoltiquin, and Culverin, which do 30% more damage. I'm kind of curious what the difference is between a Royal Culverin and a Royal Cannon. Long-range mobile cannon with bonus versus buildings. Effective against defenders. Like, what's the difference between these two now? You also have the upgrades here, but it doesn't look like... Is it a reduction? Contains siege and gunpowder technologies, train units and technologies research 50% faster. Okay. Alright, well, we've got ourselves a little bit of a build-up happening. 72 damage with 72 against infantry. So doing 144 against infantry, which is enough to one-shot a elite Janissary, which is pretty damn good. We've got 25 damage on the trench guns, 15 versus cavalry. Do we have Great Bombards coming out just yet? We do have them coming out. It's going to take quite a while. Looks like about 3 minutes for each of the Great Bombards. And now Elite Royal Knight beginning to move forward. Looks like all the upgrades have come through. We take a look down towards the south side. A couple of scouts spotting out these walls that are about to come up. Really nice wall position. So I think that the biggest thing here is that Till could have very much benefited from earlier military schools. So as I mentioned, you know, like the two as soon as, or the additional one as you age up to feudal age, and then the 2 as you age up to castle age, could have really benefited him quite a lot here. I also don't like the fact he's got such a heavy reliance on Sipahi, especially against Jeanne d'Arc. I think just moving into like a big mass of infantry, like men-at-arms, spearmen, even going into elite men-at-arms is very, very good. But up towards the north side, we do start to see stone walls beginning to come up. So a little bit of an eggshell, why not? A little bit of an eggshell defense, and Ville's on the run. Might have to think about going for a quick wall if he can get himself up towards that top side, but Ville's going to be on the wrong side of the wood line. Revoltiquin also coming out here. Janissary's moving into position. He's got a second Revoltiquin at the back. Joan of Arc's going to try for a little bit of a spin to win. A lot of Villes here, though. He's already taken down 13 Villes. Jeez, a massacre. Oh, the Great Bombard comes out at the worst time, but somehow Corvinus 1 wasn't paying attention. The Villes managed to make their way out. Now the Janissaries are going to try and bait all of the elite Royal Knights onto the Great Bombard. It's terrible damage right now, and he does a decent job of repairing, not going to be able to find it, and manages to take it out. I don't know whether that was worth it, though, Corvinus 1. If there's one saving grace I will give you, it's that a critical mass of bombards is very powerful, and you have just delayed the critical mass by 1. So that is definitely your saving grace. But look at the number of siege units that we're starting to have now. We've really got to retrain our brains for the way that siege works, because they've got a whole different bunch of roles now. The Springled in particular is a whole new unit. Janissaries needs to try his best kiting back here. He's only got a handful of them, and he's got a couple of different masses. Wants to try and focus down those lower HP ones. You can see how much damage he's doing. Beautiful micro, beautiful kiting coming through from Till. Very well played. Now, keep in mind, Corvinus 1 is a little bit higher rated than him. So to see Till doing so well here is impressive. Now, I say that, but take a look at the eco distribution. We've got a whole bunch of traders, 25 traders, a town center with uninterrupted, pretty much uninterrupted economic prosperity on the south side, against someone who's just lost 16 vills, and he lost a lot. And I think a big part of that is just not walling against Corvinus 1. And it's not so much that it's Corvinus 1, it's more that he is playing Joan of Arc. That's the big problem, right? Knights early in the feudal age are available to you, so naturally you make them, and that means that you're more likely to go for raids. So it means on the enemy side, you're more likely to be raided. But have a look at this army size. Once again, a huge amount of Sipahi. I don't know how much value they're going to be able to get here, but of course, there is enemy siege that's out here. The Royal Cannons with quite a bit of range. 10 tiles of range, 144 damage against infantry. They don't quite one-shot the Springalds, though, and he's going to make moves down to the south. He's got absolutely no way to deal with all of this cavalry other than the Janissaries. He's going to try his best, and now those cannons are going to be teeing off a whole bunch of Jones champions as well. Reboldaquin looking to try and deal some damage, and they're doing a decent job here. Great Bombard's going to set up on the backside. Reboldaquin gets taken out. Second Great Bombard. Springald's trying to fire, and you can see he's trying to get that counter-attack in on the enemy Royal Cannons, but the Springalds don't really do a whole lot of damage, and he overwhelms his opponent. Wow! Till just absolutely didn't... What just happened, dude? What? Was that the Reboldaquins? What was that? Like, all the Sipahi are still alive? Janissary numbers are still good? I feel like Till barely lost a couple of units there. And Corvinus 1 just lost everything. Corvinus 1's down to 7 military. What? Okay, alright. Looks like the new siege is kind of decent. I think a fair part of that was going to be the Reboldaquin. This is part of those things where, you know, I just wish, like... Just give us the kill counter on units. I wish I could come back here and click on this Reboldaquin and see that it got 43 kills in the last fight. How cool would that be? And then you click on this Janissary and it would say like 0. And this one's 0, 0. And the Reboldaquin is just Randy's doing all the hard carrying. But you just don't realize it. You don't know how much of a threat they are until you see that kill count. Of course, you know, Randy's a big threat. He's always coming in off the top rope. But you guys get the idea, right? It's these small little things like being able to see the Vizier points up here. Click on that. Oh, there, he's gone into the big bombard. Okay, cool. And then, you know, like, oh, click on that. Oh, kill, like, a little death sign. You know, like the skull, the crossbones, the skull and bones. Just show me that. And then just, like, dot, dot. And then 67, 23, 144. You know, whatever it is. That, I don't know why that's too much, but I guess it is. Great Bombard's now moving into position. That's two. I feel like Till might be getting ahead of himself. He needs to consolidate this force. And I would love to see more infantry coming out. I'd love to see more spears, more men-at-arms. Okay, don't be distracted. Don't be distracted, Till. Focus on the target. Remember, he might go through, he might kill lots of vills. You just go through and kill the landmarks, buddy. Just go through, go to the main base, kill the landmarks. Look at them all sitting together. A couple of Reboldaquid's going to be coming out as well on the side of Corvinus 1. He obviously knows how important those are. But he's making his way down towards the south side. Reinforcements might get picked off with these knights, which is a smart move to just kind of move them towards the front of the base and just leave them there to pick up units. But have a look at the size of this push right now. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate, I wish there was a couple more spearmen or men-at-arms in here just to try and help, but he's going to get a bit of a heal off. Nice flank from behind. Corvinus 1 begins to move through, almost losing one of those great bombards. It stays alive with a slither of HP, but where is this army going right now? Till, you got to get back to the front end, buddy. We are not finished paying for these goods yet, my friend, and unfortunately, he pays for it with his life. Take a look at this huge damage on the backside from the Royal Cannons as well, as he manages to clear out all of the big threats. and it means only the Springles and Sipahi are left, and it would have been great to have had them here to tank up all the damage. And you can see, even though they're able to get off some decent damage themselves, it just would have made so much more sense. And I guess that's one of the key differences, right? You got to remember that at the end of the day, Corvinus 1 is a very high-rated player, and that Till, he's Conqueror 3, but he's still nowhere near as good as Corvinus 1. He's just that much further ahead, and it's those little mistakes. You know, he's been flawless all game, Till, and then just right at the finish line, he comes that damn close to it, and it was just about keeping the army together. Really well played by Till up until this point. So what does he need to do now? I think the biggest thing for Till right now is you want to stay behind your walls and avoid fighting at all costs. It's really important that we stay behind the walls, because the walls are going to give us a choke point. If the enemy does destroy the walls, then we've got a choke point. And if they don't destroy the walls, we've got somewhere safe. And we want to avoid fighting at all costs right now. He needs to avoid fighting. All he wants to do is just chill, because his enemy's got a much bigger eco population, and he's still doing relatively well on military. He's got military schools that are going for him. He's got the MIA that's producing. He's got some decent stuff going for himself, despite being behind on that eco count. He's also got the 4 relics, by the way, so a difference of 3. So I think the biggest thing for Till right now, chill out behind your walls, keep those bombards, those Sipahi. You can definitely move out with the Sipahi. Can we just stop making the Sipahi, please? Can we stop making the Sipahi? I know that, like, Sipahi are obviously a good unit. They're great for raiding, great for getting in the enemy's base, but right now, we just need a front line. Oh my god, that's a big army. We need a front line to defend against Corvinus's huge army. But Till, I mean, he's got no idea what's happening, and he's sitting right outside the wall. So you want the Great Bombard set up right. You could probably even have them in front of the gate, and they're going to start firing right now. Keep in mind, he does have the Reboldiquins here. He's going to try and hold with them. He's beginning to move forward. At the same time, Reboldiquin going to be coming out from Corvinus 1. Decent shots onto the back line as the cannons, the Royal Cannons rather, look to try and focus down the Reboldiquin. Managed to take it out. He's trying his best to cover the bombards on the back, but unfortunately the Royal Knights make their way on top. So many royalties coming to save the day for Corvinus 1, and it looks like Till, it might be all over for him as the last Janissaries fall. A couple of men-at-arms, or rather a couple of Jones champions just able to overwhelm everything, and with the siege on the back line, I think that might be it. Like, honestly, for Till, like, the feedback is very, very little, man. He played incredibly well. Just a couple little mistakes, and he would have had this game. Anyway, we'll leave it there, folks, and hopefully you'll be able to catch us in the next one. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can watch Corvinus 1, and of course, we'll catch you later. Thank you so much for watching.